colleagues and friends. Good afternoon and welcome all of you to the first English symposium in our hospital. And on the occasion of New Year 2020, I wish all of you have good health, great success, and happiness in the coming year. And today, the first day for Vietnamese, always the most important day, and it's same for scientific symposium. And today, it's a great honor to have Dr. Đỗ Tấn. Dr. Đỗ Tấn is the chief of the glaucoma department, and I think he's one of the most, how can I say this? Important speaker. He had a talk in many international meetings, and he was invited speaker, I think, in glaucoma meeting and APL meeting and many other meetings. And as I said a few weeks ago, it's great for us to have a senior doctor or senior speaker who have experiences in both in ophthalmologic knowledge and also English. So when we listen to the good speaker, we can learn from them and then we can do ourselves. So thank you very much, Dr. Đỗ Tấn, for your presentation today. And I hope that you can share your knowledge with us and you also learn not only glaucoma knowledge and also the English from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Long, for a very kind introduction. The professor here, Director ENEH, now familiar with the new name of the hospital in English. So now we become the Vietnam National Eye. Professor Dong, Chairman of the meeting, friends and colleagues. Today we, on behalf of the glaucoma department, I would like to share with you some of the results of a study on angle closure acute tech. And the talk will focus on UBM features of eyes during the tech. So as you all know that the primary angle closure glaucoma is very important and very dangerous disease that normally is a bilateral disease, and if we can manage properly, that disease can easily lead to irreversible blindness. And more importantly, the rate or the prevalence of primary and glaucoma in Vietnam is high. And in comparison with other forms of glaucoma, and according to some surveys, national survey, is still accounting for 80% of the all forms of glaucoma. So why the study? What's the objective of the study? Why we use UBM to evaluate the feature of the anterior segment, especially the things and also the mechanism of the angle closure. In terms of the anterior segment imaging, we have two choices. You can have the anterior segment OCT, or you can have the UBM. Each one has advantages and disadvantages, but in this study we have chosen the UBM because the UBM can help us to evaluate the things or the structures behind the iris. So we thought that with the deeper looking into the structure behind the iris can highlight the mechanism of the angle closure. And that's why, according to the literature, also from the previous study, also done in a hospital, the angle closure pattern was divided into two mechanisms or two patterns. The first one is very familiar with all of us with the pupillary block that shortened by the acronym PB. And the second one is has mentioned many times in many previous meetings, but I think that is still a little bit less familiar to some of us, especially the one who doing in the different subspecialty is the negligible plateau iris. So in the next few slides, I would like to introduce to you and how to manage, how to make a diagnosis of all two very important ambulatory pattern, pupillary block and plateau iris, especially on imaging devices. So, with ultrasound biomicroscopy, or called UBM, the anterior segment evaluation would have two modes of evaluation. Of course, the imaging department have very big experience with two modes. So I would like to mention very briefly. The first one is the overall mode. You can see almost everything on the anterior segment. You can see the cornea here, iris, and also the anterior surface of the lens. And also very details of the angle. So you can see that many parameters can be extracted from that software that integrated into the machine. So you can see that with the overall mode, you can measure many things like ACD, that means the anterior chamber depth. That you see that the distance between the posterior surface of the cornea to the front surface of the lens. Also measure for the lens ball. That also very important now, become a very important factor that can lead to the pupillary block. So how to measure the lens ball? You have the endpoint of the pupil here, and you have the distance between the anterior surface of the lens, also that reference plane, and we have measured that distance, and that's why that define the lens ball. And if we have looked at the angle, we have many also the parameter. For example, the angle opening in degree, that the software can help you to measure very easily. We have also the distance between the cornea to the anterior surface of the iris, that called the AOD. The distance between the 500 or AOD 500 means that we firstly have to remark or we define the scleral spur, and also we measure the distance between 500 micrometers from the spur to the anteriorly, and we measure the distance between that point to the anterior surface of the iris with that AOD 500. Or you have another parameter with AOD 15 micron, that a little bit further anteriorly. So, what is the meaning of AOD or AOD 500, AOD 15? That can represent the angle opening. Another parameter that tells you that how large the angle is. If the AOD is big, that means that the angle is wide open. But if the AOD is small, that means that the angle is very narrow. So that is the overall mode. We have many parameters to measure and also extracted from the software. So another mode is angle mode. For the primary angle glaucoma is even more important. Why? Because we have even more detail about the thing in front of the iris, the angle, also the angle opening, and AOD 500, AOD 15, but also the things behind the iris. You can see here in the sulcus. Here we have we call that sulcus positive. Why? Because we have something of space between the posterior surface of the iris and the ciliary process. But if we have the sulcus negative, it means that there is no sulcus. It means that the anterior body is in contact with the posterior surface of the iris. And also we measure how interiorly the ciliary process will be. For example, in this case, is at the level of the scleral spur. But in some cases, the process is point upward or interiorly that push the iris root. against the slant canal and also the trapezoidal measure. And in that case, we had some very typical features of the plateau iris syndrome. Is that why the angle is very narrow because of the ciliary process is pointing upward and push the iris again the slant canal and the trapezoidal measure. And that's another very important, more and more important now, the mechanism of angle growth. So in terms of the criteria, how to define the pupillary block pattern in primary angle glaucoma, is we have three criteria. The first criterion is the shallow anterior chamber. We have narrow angle on UBM with the angle opening is less than 20 degrees. We have iris curve, lens and iris contact, sulcus being present, and all those four features present on these two parts. That's the definition of the pupillary block. So let me repeat. So if you have angle is narrow, but you have the iris curve and a sulcus is present, means that we have the sulcus, we have the space between the ciliary process and iris, means that the pattern of the angle closure is pupillary block. That's the definition of pupillary block. So how about the plateau iris? You can see that on UBM, it's very different in terms of the angle mode. In terms of the overall mode, you can see that the angle is narrow and the ACD is, the anterior chamber is shallow. But there's not much different, especially in the patient. I will show you the result, the real result, in the later part of my presentation. But on UBM, we can see that there's a lot of differences between the plateau iris and the pupillary block. So you can see that in front of iris, all the same. The angle is very narrow, like a slit line angle opening. But different things that stay behind the iris, you can see that the ciliary process here is in contact with the iris root. And that's why the people say that the ciliary process is pointing upward or anteriorly and pushing the iris here, iris root here, stay up and stay against the trapezoidal measure. And that is the iris, central part of the iris is flat, not curved like the pupillary block. So again, there are four criteria for the plateau iris. First thing is shallow or normal anterior chamber, double hum side, undented gonioscopy. Have a narrow or close angle with TIA that's 20 degree steep iris root, flat central iris, and anteriorly rotated ciliary body, and negative sulcus on at least 2 points. The four very important criteria for plateau iris. So I stay back for the feature of the pupillary block. You see that all is narrow here, but there's no contact between the ciliary body with the iris. And here we have the typical feature with no sulcus and the ciliary body push iris root against the trapezoidal measure. So in literature, they try to, many studies have been done to look very carefully into the mechanism of the problem, try to differentiate many mechanisms, but in short, they have two very important mechanisms that the pupillary block, as in the first slide was mentioned. So in 2008, Kumar et al. Have done a very important study about UBM, and they find that the plateau iris is accounted for more than 30% of all primary angle closure. And pupillary block is more importantly accounted for 67%. But later on, a similar study had been done in Japan in 2010, and Yoshiguchi also found that plateau areas accounted for a third of all cases of primary angle closure glaucoma. And Trevin comparing the acute attack and a suspect on ASOCT, and more recently in 2014, we did the study in glaucoma department looking for the pattern of angle closure in the angle closure suspect, and at that time we defined the three groups. The first thing is the pupillary block, pure pupillary block, and also the plateau iris. But very important that the mixed group that means that we have a mixture of the combination of the two mechanisms after the endotomy. So this study is the first time study using UBM to describe the clinical and UBM feature of the eyes with the acute attack. Here is during the attack, before any treatment had been conducted. And another objective of the study is to compare the parameter or the features of eye during the attack with the other eye, meaning that the unforeclosed suspect. We would like to see that what's different between affected eye or unaffected eye, but why is happening in that eye but not the other. So a study has done in Vietnam National Eye Hospital from 1 year from 2018 to 2019. And in the study, we recruited 68 eye with a pure attack, but only the 55 eye with interrectal unaffected eye. Why that happened? Because sometimes with the subject have only one eye, the other has gone, so we didn't compare. Or the other eye had been operated for trabeculectomy or something like that, so we couldn't compare the eye to the affected eye. So that's why, in brief, we have 68 eye with a pure attack and 55 eye with angle suspect unaffected eye. And the criteria for the acute attack is very strict. They have at least the presence of the two these symptoms: headache, nausea, vomiting, pain inside the eye or around the eye, or blurring vision. The pressure at the time of presentation is more than 30 mm mercury measured by Goldman tonometer, and presence of 3 size conjunctival injection, edema of the cornea, shallow anterior chamber. On bronchoscopy, we see the closed angle in 4-quadrant bronchoscopy examination. So again, the UBM has been done before any treatment, meaning that during the attack, when the pressure is very high, everything is dim. So that proved that one advantage of the UBM over the ASOCT, because if we use the ASOT, we use light technologies, but it's very difficult to penetrate through the diameters media. But in that study in UBM, so you can see a lot of detail, the thing behind the diameters. So, what was the results? And for the 68 patient, we had 57 female, 11 male, and with the age of about 60, 62. In terms of the angle closure pattern of the 68 eye with the pure attack, we have that from the UBM definition, surprisingly, we have a little bit higher rate of plateau iris in comparison with pupillary block. So if you still remember in the overview of literature, they said that for the acute attack, it happened more in the pupillary block. But in this study, we proved the reverse thing, that we found more plateau iris with during the acute attack than the pupillary block. So that's the first thing that different from the literature. So we see that, for example, in study in 2014, where we do the imaging on every kind, every clinical form, clinical entity of primary angle closure, we found that the plasma is pure, mixed and pure is accounted for 45%. Here, only plasma is accounted already for 57%, even more important than the thing. So in terms of the comparison between the plaque iris and pupillary block, we didn't see any difference in terms of Van Herring. We use that very simple procedure during the clinical examination. We didn't see any difference in Van Herring from that group to another. Similarly, the angle opening on gonioscopy with the shaper grading, no different. And also, double homicide, of course, because double homicide is characteristic for the plaque iris. We see more with plaque iris with the odds ratio up to 31. So that we thought that the sensitivity of double homicide and gonioscopy is very important for the diagnosis of plaque iris. Also very important for the clinical facility where the imaging devices are not available. So we can use gonioscopy as an indented one that different from the standard one with the Posner lens or Martin lens, and will help you with the sensitivity of the tests up to 92%. In terms of lens form, it's similar between the eyes with the attack and also the pupillary block and plasma iris. Also in axial lens, there's no difference between the pupillary block and plasma iris. Or other UBM parameter will also similar to previous report in terms of ACD, the depth of anterior chamber, tissue, trabeculomedullary iris angle, the angle opening, and angle area, the AOD curve, and the other parameter is similar to previous report. So what about the comparison between patterns? First thing, in terms of UBM features, there are no difference in terms of the AC, TIA, ARA, or AOD. Or you can see that even in plasma iris and the ACD is even shallower than pupillary block. So in the literature, they said for typical plasma iris, the anterior chamber depth is nearly normal in the central. Of course, the angle is very narrow, but in the central it's nearly normal. But even as with patient in this study or in the previous study, we found that for plasma iris, the ACD is even shallower in plasma iris than pupillary block. So that another different feature that this patient had also published in the glaucoma journal of glaucoma. Things that were a very interesting thing that we found. In terms of iris curve, we didn't see much difference between the pupillary block and plasma iris because the iris is all flattened during the attack. That's why the pressure gradient was rebalanced in front of the iris or behind the iris. And other features, for example, the TCP, trabecular ciliary process distance, iris, the ciliary process distance, is significantly lower than pupillary block. So that is part of the diagnostic criteria. And in terms of three typical signs of plasma iris, the anteriorly rotated ciliary body, you see that much more often in the cluster iris syndrome. Similarly, the stiff iris group, of course, is part of the criteria of diagnosis. The sincus is almost specific to the cluster iris. So another part of the study is to compare the acute attack eye with the unaffected eye. And that also very important and very interesting part of the study. We found out that there is no difference between the angle-closure pattern between the acute attack eye and fellow eye. It means that the other eye of the acute attack patient will see more lateral area than the other. That also to confirm the finding that the thing that is different from the literature, that it seems to be that lateral iris syndrome can more easily lead to acute attack than the pupillary blood. So while we're comparing UBM picture, you can see that we have the shallow anterior chamber during the attack compared with the fellow eye. That I think it's a bit more easy to understand that because the edema of the media during the attack and the swallowing of the cornea, the swallowing of the lens, so that can be get thin shadow, LCD shadow. And another feature that which significant is the iris curve, because the previous explanation that during the attack the pressure gradient in front of the iris and behind the iris was way better. So that's why we see much the iris curve during the attack. So that's why the curving the iris is less than in the fellow. So in conclusion, acute attack features angle closure pattern, plateau iris syndrome accounting for 57%, and pupillary block is only 43%. And ACD in millimeter is no different between the pattern. That very interesting finding, different from the classic description of the iris. On UBM, the specific size of classic iris, including which side, the anterior ciliary body, the stiff iris root, and negative center of three that triad that very typical of lateral iris. So in the comparison between the acute attack eye and fellow eye, the actually shallow in the acute attack with the explanation of the swallowing tissue. But other than that, there is no difference between the UBM or also the clinical features of the acute attack eye and fellow eye. So we didn't see any difference between in terms of the TIA, ARI, AOG, or TCP. Meaning that the angle in the acute eye, the angle in the suspect eye is very narrow. And that proves the necessity of immediate preventive treatment in fellow eyes. It's very easy to understand that if we don't treat preventively for the other eye, so one day or another, that eye will happen the acute attack. So that I'd like to emphasize that very important. Because we know that for some facility where laser is not available, the patient would treat it with one eye but would forget it for the other eye. Very dangerous. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gupton, for your excellent talk. My impression that I think today we are in the international meeting with very good speaker, very fluent English, and very good knowledge for the presentation. So now I'd like to invite you to have some comment or some questions from the audience. So I hope some glaucoma expert will talk first, and then some of you from other subspecialty. And the more important, I'd like to have a question or comment from our residents. Who will talk first? Nobody? I think it's very, very important for us. We use UBM, the new tool for to explore the eye during the acute attacks. And normally for the normal eyes, when you use UBM, it's not comfortable. That's a not very comfortable test. And during the acute attacks, the patient very painful and tearing and blurred vision. And we do UBM during that time. Is there any difficulty for you or for our doctor to do the test during that time? And what about the cooperation of the patient during that time?
Yes, thank you very much. Maybe Dr. Zweig help me to answer the question because he the one who did the UBM exploration. But frankly, when Dr. Zweig or his assistant did the test, there's not much complaint from the patient.
Yeah.
Because normally for the contact examination with some drops of anesthesia, of course. And of course, when we put the cup, the water cup on the eye, it will irritate. But it's not much. Because like help us to answer the question.
And the patient didn't have any complaint to you? Because you refer the patient to do the test?
Yes,
Yeah.
I had to refer the patient to do the test because she was there and explained that.
Yeah.
And another point is that we need him to especially specifically him because no other one because we need the identification of the parameter measure because on LAS OCT is like automatically, but UBM is like manually.
Yeah.
You need to define the
Yeah.
detail by experience. That's why we need the expert.
Thank you. We invite Dr. Zhang to talk later because Dr. Zhang, I'm sure he prefer to speak Vietnamese, not English. So we continue with the English conversation. So I'd like to invite some of you who have any question or comment. Dr. Van Eyck, you're a glaucoma expert, so you can share your experiences. And you can talk more about UBM. And we use that tool to explore the mechanism of the glaucoma. And also we can classify two types of the acute closed glaucoma. So what is the meaning of that? Yeah. If you say it's a BB or it's a PI, any difference between two subtypes of that type of glaucoma? Or you can share something with us?
I have heard this presentation for many times, but each time when I heard this, I think it's very interesting. In fact, something interesting is that because if the reason now he found is very impressive. If the reason is proven by some more bigger study, maybe it can change the attitude of the ophthalmologist in front of the IIG. I think so, because it changed the mechanism of the ankylosing glaucoma a lot. Because before, when we learn about the glaucoma, most of the patient, the mechanism is is because of pupillary block. But now, more than half of the patient is plateau iris syndrome, not pupil block. I don't know. I can explain my idea. But if this reason can be proven by another study, it change a lot of the management of the glaucoma. I think so. Now, outside of the two subjects you have studied, we consider about the length also. But I think because the UBM just mentioned about the angle, so Dr. Teng avoid to mention about the length. I think so. I don't know. I just only impressive about the ratio of the PI.
Yeah. So say something. And any comment? Yes, Dr. Chow, please. Get Dr. Chow.
I have two questions. The first thing that we have another tool to analyze ocular angle also. So can you tell us the convenience and inconvenience of each tool? And the second question is there any index of the normal range of the angle? So when we analyze the angle with the UBM or OCT, we tell that this is a closed angle or open angle?
Thank you very much. And so let me show you again the images of the overall anterior segment. That one OCT, and that one UBM. So the first question about the convenient and inconvenient advantage or disadvantages of those two tools. So this one you can see that the detail is much better, a little better. You see that the resolution of the OCT is better. And another point on your ASOCT is more automatic, meaning that the machine can define, can tell you that where it's going to spur with a better resolution. But on UBM, the resolution is worse. But the most important thing here that the UBM can see the thing behind that ASOCT can stop at the iris pigment. So that's why we choose UBM to study, to use in this study. So the second question about
Index of angle closer.
The cutoff value. How can say that on UBM? How narrow that we call that narrow, and how large we call that open. So on UBM we have that cutoff value of 20 degrees that can be measured automatically, even with ASOCT with UBM. We just put the compass into the angle, then all the parameters will be extracted automatically in terms of the angle opening, AOD 500, AOD 750, and the distance between the iris and the posterior surface. So the cutoff value is 30 degrees. Below 30 degrees that is narrow. So above 20 degrees that is open. And but that the gonioscopy, but on the imaging. But I have to say that you cannot define things only on imaging. You have to base on clinical feature with the gonioscopy, with the shape grading, combined in combination with imaging measurements. And so let me explain a little bit about the meaning of study, as you said. Because, for example, who cares about the plateau iris? Who cares about the pupil block if we ended with trabeculectomy? Same treatment and same method. So the problem is how to prevent the other. So classically, we have to do the eudotomy, laser. Eudotomy is only works with pupillary block. So that's why in previous study we have shown that with pure pupillary block that work very well. Before laser is less than 20, but after laser it can be 30 degrees. That means from narrow to open. With mixed mechanism, that means that with pure pupillary block, relatively nothing changed. 10 degrees before, 10 degrees after. So means that for pupillary block, it doesn't work at all. So maybe in the future, when the study where we recruited more subjects, we define clearly about the plateaus. We don't do the udotomy anymore. We had to switch to udoplasty. And so with the mixed group, the udotomy works a little bit less than 10 degrees of gaining. So it means that before is 15, after that 20 something. That it works but partially. So I think that will change the attitude, also the change the strategy in the future from the preventive treatment.
So to do that, you mean that for every cases, we have to do UBM to classify that the PP or PI. And the same thing, is there any difference between two eyes, one eye is the PP and the other eye is the PI? Because in one eye it may have a mixed styles, PI and PP. So it means that if we say that for PP, we can do PI. For PI, the PI doesn't work. So we have to say that acute type, but that due to PD or due to PI, right? And by that way, we have to do UBM, or is there any solution? Because from other side, I see there's no difference between PI and PP. Only one thing is the double hum side. You can see that. So we can recognize or we can classify the subtype of the glaucoma due to double hum side without UBM or not.
In the study, this study also previously reported. So in the facility that without imaging devices, you can use the double gonioscopy, but indented one. So remember that there are two kinds of gonioscopy. The first one is standard. Standard means you use big lens to see the angle. But with the indented gonioscopy, we use much smaller lens. Because that smaller, that can sit on the top of the cornea, and when we push the aqueous humor against the angle that help to open the angle. When we open the angle with indentation, we can tell the difference between the positional and the syndical or syndical. So for the plastic iris, when we use the indented gonioscopy, we have a double hum side. Why double hum side? Because the ciliary process here. When we push here, if this pupillary lock, that angle will be open, because there's nothing behind that. When we push, the iris will stay back and open the angle. But when the ciliary body is sit behind the iris, when we push, that thing is not open. And that's why that middle iris will push back, but not down. That the first hump, and also the second hump stay on the lens. That will cause the double hum side required. So for the sensitivity of the double hum side is more than 90%. So that's why it's very specific to that. Again, replace the imaging examination when the specificity don't have the devices. And
so we have to invite you, yes. Any comment or question from the audience? Yeah,
Thank you for your presentation. I learned from Leo that during the cycle seems to be the first line therapy for anger, closer, glaucoma. Is it may you represent some concerning your exploration, PI, PP or not? Thank you.
Frankly, in literature they divided in 4 mechanisms of enclosure. That's why Dr. Nang told that I avoided to mention about the other 2. But in fact, so we can see that even with pupillary block or plaster iris, there's always the role of the lens, because the lens here is pathology, because not the transparency, but pathology here means that the limit of the lens is largely than normal, or the position of the lens is more anterior than normal. So that's why always when we remove the lens, we gain the opening here. Anyhow, of course, with the lateral iris, when we remove the lens, the angle is still narrow, because a study has been published in refractive and cataract surgery. They've shown that so before the lens removal and after the lens removal, the regaining of angle opening is not very significant. So, but the other study kind of different thing. But in fact, because of the anatomical problem, we see the body gaining of angle opening is less significant than people, but still some.
Thank you. By the way, I think you can say everything relating to the presentation. You can say, Dr. Teng, you have a very nice presentation. Thank you. I think that's all. So we do not keep the silent. So we talk. So we can talk and you can share ideas and comment with each other. So Dr. Teng, please. Microphone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Teng, for your presentation. With your presentation, we have a much better understanding on the UBM, on diagnosis of glaucoma. And you saw that with the UBM, you can see very clearly the situation of the angle, and also the ciliary process. Especially you can see much better on the structure behind the iris, which you cannot see directly under the lamp. And my thinking is, my question is, what is the most important the value of the UBM in diagnosis and management of the open closed angle glaucoma? But you have an answer already. You say that it's only good for the other eye, the fellow eye. But as we know that now UBM is not available in everywhere, in every ophthalmic service. And in the past, we don't have UBM. And we also use treatment of closed angle glaucoma. And I think with the UBM, you can clarify 2 types of the mechanism of the closed angle glaucoma in the attack case. And with the I think on the other eye, on the fellow eye, unattacked eyes, and I think the clinical feature between the plateau iris and pupillary block is also different. For example, like the ankle, anterior chamber diff, and the situation of the ankle. And normally before we mostly for the management of the open closed ankle coma, we based on the gonioscopy, the situation of the ankle. Now in those places without UBM, they also have to treatment have a treat closed ankle coma, and also normally they do the iridotomy, peripheral iridotomy for the other eye. So my question is, do you comment in other ophthalmic service where the UBM is not available to do the iridotomy, peripheral iridotomy for the fellow eye when one eye have acute status?
So the answer is still yes, because as is shown in the study, the fellow eyes of the acute still have about 50% of UV dot. So we still work in dot. So another point that we cannot sure that the mixed form without endotomy. So after the endotomy, sometimes the angle is open very widely, so we can show that we will not. But sometimes the angle open partially, so that mixed form. So that serves as a diagnostic test for the mixed form. So if in the hospital they don't have any imaging devices, they still do very effectively the preventive treatment, because as I suggested, the endotomy is still the first line of treatment. So after that, we have to do the gonioscopy again, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks after the endotomy to see the difference before and after the endotomy. So we have again a very significant opening angle in that pupillary block. But the angle is still very narrow within that, and so not the pupillary block, not the plateau areas. So you need to add on some other treatment like a or cataract removal soon.
So we can do the easier one first, the eye first, so then we can see what should we do. We continue or we stop. So please, may I have any comment or any question from the imaging department? We have some young doctor from imaging department. Dr. Hill, do you have any comment or questions relating to how we can do UBM on acute closed ankle glaucoma?
Thank you, Mr. Dong, for your question. I would like to appreciate the addition of It's very interesting about the UBM. I think the result of the UBM is depend on the person who perform it a lot, because when we do the UBM, we have to put a cup on the surface of the eyes, and if we do not put it gently, we can make a force to make the indentation in the eye, and also make a fake closure angle in the UBM image. And another thing is that when we perform the UBM, in comparing to the AHOCT, if the patient does not cooperate well, and they do not gaze to the direction, we cannot examine the angle well, and we have poor result.
You mean that for UBM?
Yeah.
It means that the cooperation of the patient is very important.
Yes.
So, is it depend on the experiences of the explorer? Like
because when I examine the patient, a lot of them have suffer from the pain and they're not cooperate well. And when I told them to look to their left or to look to their right, they cannot look, and then it's very hard for me to examine.
so, how many doctors in our department can do UBM for the patient? I mean that on the same level.
Well,
Same level.
in my department, Dr. Join is the best doctor to do the UBM. Besides all the other doctors can do UBM, but I think it's a lower level.
So from your study, who did that? Dr. Zain or younger one? Maybe Dr. Zain?
In the Austin study,
Yeah.
most of the examination is performed by Dr. Zain and Dr. Ba.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's two doctors.
I and Dr. Yen also performed, but only a few cases when Dr. Zain or Dr. Ba was absent.
So it's not good point. You should not say that. Because of the research, we should do the same. And for the same level, so it's better to have, let's say, the value of the research. Yeah. Thank you. So any comment or any questions? May I have any question or comment from the residents? Is there any resident here? Dr. Than Hai?
Thank you for the presentation of the paper. And anterior segment imaging is very useful to distinguish the mechanism of the glaucoma, especially in the angle glaucoma. And in fact, if they say about distinguish the mechanism through type of angle glaucoma, but in the clinic have a ratio of the chronic angle glaucoma and meaning the combination of glaucoma. In the first is open angle, and after the baby the angle glaucoma. And how do you think about it in the UBM with experience of the person? Say about some the UBM, you have a prognostic in this case. How and when in this case have the trend of the angle glaucoma?
So the first question is about the chronic
Chronic.
So they have to distinguish between the clinical form of the ankylosing glaucoma. We have three clinical forms: acute, subacute, chronic. But in the pattern of the ankylosing, we have let's say three forms also: plateau areas, tubular block, and mixed. So we have to distinguish between the clinical form and ankylosing pattern, that all are mechanisms that are different. So that's why in the acute acute form, we have also the plateau areas, also the tubular block or mixed form. Or even in the subacute, we have also three mechanisms, also the chronic. So three mechanisms. So we say that sometimes we have the combination between open and closed angle. That's a quite good question. Normally, some patients in the early stage of the life was diagnosed with open angle glaucoma. But because of the aging, because of the thickness of the lens increase with age, so the angles get narrower with time. So later in their life, the angle becomes narrower or become close. That's the fact.
So any question or comment from the residents? Is there any resident here? Nobody? So I'd like to invite Professor Wilson here. We have some comment or questions, please.
Just have some small questions before I have some comments. The first question is, do you know when we start UBM and when we start OCT, anterior OCT hospital? That's the first question.
As far as I remember, we had Zante OCT before UBM. But to 2012 or 13, we had the first machine imaging. The Zante OCT had been broken for a while. And after that, because I still remember that at that time, President Cho of the foreign department commented that yes, OCT is not good for the segment because of the light technology cannot penetrate through the corneal scar. That's why the UBM came to a little bit, I think, 6 months or a year apart.
And of course, today we just talk very specific topics, but for general glaucoma, what do you think about the procedures of our hospitals here in diagnose and whether we have enough instruments or not? If not, what are we lacking and need to just invest?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, we have roughly enough equipment for the diagnostic test examination of glaucoma, for anterior segment, also for posterior segment, because we know that OCT, for example, need to look at the angle, need to look at this macula. But because the problem is the technology is never stop, advanced from one year to another year, from one day to another. So frankly, the software or the machine, some machine now is outdated. The machine now in my department is dated back to 2014 without any update at that time. So now we have many advances in terms of technology. We get better images, we get better resolution, we have more tools to help us to define the scale spur, for example, or even now the case here from Toby, Japan, that can help you to do the so-called digital cranioscopy, visualize 360-degree all angle and recorded opening each point. Thank you very much, Director of the hospital, spend concern, effort, investment, for the glaucoma diagnostic treatment, and maybe next year or the year to come, update. Even, for example, this year you approved that we buy the new machine of cyclic diode micropulse. Very, very good, very new, very interesting and promising procedure for glaucoma. Thank you very much.
It's not very clear for me, but of course, say we also know the advantages of different machine, especially the most recent generations. And with the Desante OCT, from my understanding, the image is not very clear and it's not very good. But from my knowledge, someone told me that just the two OCT we bought last year, and if we combine the software, we can measure, we can do the anterior OCT with good high resolution images. I'm right?
Yes.
Yes, that's absolutely right. We can use the lens and also the software to do the posterior segment.
Yeah. Thank you.
So one more point that still the problem of technology. So because of the resolution that can limit the penetration of the light. That's why now the newest technology is that source OCT can help to see deeper, for example, in the coral depression.
Okay. Allow me to stand up. First of all, thank you, Dr. Tan, for very good presentation. I think for quite a long time, I had the chance to attend and to just listen to follow very interesting presentations. In terms of, say, very good preparations, correct, say, English, good presentation, good outline, as well as the course, very good English speaker. And I think the values of any presentations coming from the contents of that talk, but as well from the way the presenter presenting to the audience. And Dr. Tan, I think having both, so thank you very much. Thank you once again. The first thing. The second thing, even Dr. Tan presented very clearly and also very good English. But from my understanding, I'm not sure all the audience understood all what he talked. Of course, I think because for quite a long time, we haven't had such good presentation like this. And the reflex of audience, of our doctors, to English seems reducing. So that's what we have to think of it, especially Professor Dow and I, and also doctors in the training department. The second thing, I think even we heard a lot about the advantage, the disadvantage of at least the two types of machine. That's the OCT and also UBM. And everybody knows about it. But from my knowledge, it seems we still lack something in terms of indicating our protocol for glaucoma. For example, when we indicate this test, when we do that test, it seems it depends on doctors. I'm not right or not. Because we have a lot of machine, as the doctor mentioned. That means we have to spend a lot of money to buy the machine. We try to keep up with at least the international levels. But it means money. If we don't have buy it, if we don't have to spend money, how we can have that machine? So that's the fact. And we still have to do so. That's one side. But on the other side, as I mentioned so many times, how can we do it? Whether we can spend money to buy the best or the most modern machine, but it's not effective. Even we cannot gain money enough for repairing or for maintenance. That's a big problem. And from my point of view, we must build up the protocol for all, say, regime, for example, for glaucoma, for example. And more doctors in our hospital have to follow that protocol rather than each doctor doing in some different ways. Only by doing so, we can take the full advantages of the machine we have in, as well as we can, you see, support, you see, the process in upgrading the technology. I mean, you may complain about me, why the directors always talk about the money, but if without money, how can we have the new machine? How can we have? And this year, we try to buy, I think, the new machine in different topics, and including glaucoma sector. But please, Dr. Tan, and also other doctors from imaging department and also glaucoma department, so try to fully use of, you see, machine we are having now. Say the study you did, that's a good study. But I don't think we have just only 68 eyes. We must have 100 eyes. And it's only not Dr. Tan and also, you see, his colleagues. It must be, you see, the routine work, routine indications for every doctors, especially those working in glaucoma department. So I think that's the responsibilities of, you see, the chief of each department, each sectors in our hospital. And just only by doing so, we can just reach the top levels of the country. I'm not talking about to the neighboring, you know, so that you see further, just in our country. So that's my thinking and also my willing. And this is also our task. Otherwise, we just come up and stop, and the intervals probably too far. But if we keep continuing by just using it very often, very effectively, we can, you see, issuing a lot of visas in terms of scientific visas, in terms of economy, in terms of serving the patients, in terms of having the good reputations about what we are having. We are at the top, we have you see, the best machine, and that can help us a lot. So once more, thank you very much, and hoping in very soon future, Dr. Tan, from our study, see, you can submit to the scientific committee, see what we are discussing today. And I hope Dr. Tan can do it. And also other doctors. Here we have a lot of chief of the departments. So try. We always want to have the best machine. Always, and so try to invest. But you must support me. You must support me. You must help me to do so. And you will see. If we can do it, we can get a lot of things. Thank you very much.
Professor here. People said that everything started with difficulty, but today we started the new year and the first section of the symposium with, I don't think that's difficulty, I don't say that's easy, but I think it's very interesting. Dr. Tan, one of the good speaker in our hospital, with very good English and very good knowledge in glaucoma, he presented us a new thing, a new way to explore our patient, and we can modify it and you can choose the best treatment for our patient. Once again, thank you very much for your presentation, and thank you all of you for your participation here. And I hope that for next section, you will stay here at the end of the section. Thank you.